Oh.
Relax and listen to music.
There we go. We finally got it. Yes, it is. It's on. I can see it on here. We finally got it up and rock and rolling.
Good job, best producer ever.
Yes, we got her cooking on Facebook Live, coming in here on a Wicked Wednesday. Oh, that another
I
fun.
thought we were going with Wash Wednesday because I want to wash it away.
Wash it away.
I don't know.
Well,
Doesn't
if
always
you
make
don't, if
sense.
you gave me like 30 seconds notice to make a little headline, I need
What'd
more
you
than.
do?
I just said Wicked Wednesday.
Oh, I didn't even see. I'm just changing it while we're live because it's fun.
Yes, you're getting
I like
vetoed.
to throw that curveball at
You're
y'all.
getting vetoed on that. A lot of fun stuff today. The impeachment trial started in Washington, D.C. Up there, the non-impeachment that went off. It was a sad, sad occurrence in our country, and we'll cover the one that happened in the city of Riverside. They had the same thing going on down there. Councilwoman Gabby Placentia decided she was going to just up and pitch out, or put on the agenda to pitch out Planning Commissioner Sean Mill, and we'll give you the whole story on that. One thing that happened in about noon today in Corona, the Corona airport, there was a plane that was getting ready to take off that crash landed on that, and it killed the 4 people that were on board of the plane on that over there. So that was a big breaking story that that broke today in the Inland Empire. Public safety personnel responded to it, but yeah, that was a pretty lots of pictures posted. We got some on IEN, the smoke coming up and all that. But yeah, it appears that it was the plane was getting ready to take off, and she just didn't make it, and wound up in a fiery plane crash over there in Corona. So that's
That's horrible.
yes, one of the
Our hearts go out to the family and all involved.
of all that. One of the things. Pull up on the IEN page, because pull up where the motor officer's bike is on the laying sideways on the deal. This happened Tuesday night in Lake Elsinore. As they say, all police officers reticularize their trained deputy sheriffs, highway patrol. There are no routine traffic stops. In Lake Elsinore last night, a motor officer on a motorcycle flips the red light on somebody and pulls up beside, like they usually do. They usually park right by the driver's door so they can kind of see what's going on. Well, according to the report from the Lake Elsinore Sheriff's Station, is a person that had stopped thought they had put the car in park, but the car was still in reverse. So it backs into the motorcycle that you can see laying on the side, laying flopped over sideways on the side of the road there. So fortunately, nobody was injured. No, not no harm, no foul, but no personal injuries. The officer, nobody in the car was injured. But just goes to show you, make sure that when you're doing that, and I get it, when you're getting pulled over, you get that red light on there, you're kind of
Even if you do nothing wrong,
Yes.
like that anxiety.
Yes,
not
that
anxiety. But
anxiety.
they're like, oh crap.
Yeah, I could see, somebody thinking they pushed it all the way up into park and they didn't, which seems to be what happened in this case, and probably probably had her foot on the brake so the car wasn't moving, and then maybe she turned, or maybe the officer walked up and said, hey, give me your license and registration. And she might have moved over or something and took her foot off the brake or something like that. I mean, I'm just speculating some of the scenarios that could have went on in this situation.
So now, in the event of you accidentally doing that and hitting an officer, are you the one that's paying for all those damages?
I would imagine usually that's called your fault.
Oh, yeah, true. But would you get another fine on top of that?
I don't know if they're... Man, I don't. There's probably. I wouldn't know if there's a vehicle code in there that would cover that. I mean, other than maybe unsafe operation of a vehicle or something like that.
Right.
You might get a charge on that. I imagine they're probably. I mean, who knows?
I mean, hitting,
I wonder-
reversing into the bike. I wonder how much damage that even took. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't appear. It
But-
was probably really slow over the side, maybe scratched or something. It doesn't appear that it. I mean, I imagine the. I mean,
embarrassing,
if the motor officer, might have just picked it up and drove off, and maybe like you say, maybe scratched something or
Yeah.
something, or it doesn't appear to be like a big.
that is so something I would totally
But yeah,
do.
can you imagine though if you were pulled over and
I would totally do that. That's why I'm like.
But
oh,
I mean,
no.
yeah,
I don't want
imagine
answers on what
if
happened.
you actually did, you were the person that actually did, and you're thinking, man, whatever, doing a California stop, rolling through the red light, or speeding, or
whatever.
whatever,
something like that.
probably minor traffic, whatever traffic violation, the cop decided to flip the red light on her. Which is kind of unusual. And one thing that struck me unusual is in Lake Elsinore, maybe they're starting to do it because most of the time the motor officers never worked at night, mainly because of safety reasons. And
Oh,
this
now
is,
they do though, don't they?
well, it was clearly so because I mean this is very dark when it's happened. When it happened. So, yeah, maybe they changed their policy, but not only from the safety of the harm of somebody picking them up, but just the safety of, at night, it's even more dangerous riding a motorcycle, or you're even more apt to get hit, or somebody not seeing you running into you at night on a motorcycle than it is in the daytime of that. So that, from a lot of factors, they used to not.
Well, they could have hit him in the early evening, and then now by the time they're done with it, it's nighttime.
Yeah, they could have done that on the.
But that's kind of going a little.
Yeah,
far out
that's stretching things, I think, a bit, but who knows? It could be of that. But yeah, that was a fun, or not necessarily. Well, I mean, kind of at least nothing happened. Kind of just one of those kind of like blooper.
Blonde moments.
Yes,
Like
that,
I would say.
or do.
Hey, don't judge me.
Of that, but yeah, could you? You
I could
and like
definitely
I say, I
imagine.
could see it. Like you say, the anxiety. You're kind of keyed up. Well, what did I do now? Or this is going to cost me $200, $300, $400, $500, yada yada yada. And then all of a sudden you're backing your unit into the cop's motorcycle, and it's on the ground.
Oopsie.
I wonder. I mean, I wonder if
bad.
I wonder if he wrote the original ticket. For the. Whatever the violation he was thinking that happened.
We need to have them on because now I'm curious as to what happened there.
It's a good idea. Maybe we'll send an email over to the. Why don't you do that? Why don't you send an email over to the PIO over at Riverside County Sheriff? Say, hey,
Let me get on that for you.
yeah, what's happening on this? The
Someone writes in and says she can see us on YouTube, but it goes in and out.
really.
So I don't know how your guys' YouTube.
What do you mean
channel.
by in it? Is it like
I don't know.
is it like mad or
Probably.
probably flashing back and forth, or give us some detail on that? Is it? Are we? I guess we are
We
on
need
YouTube
more
too.
deets.
For that going on the old enchilada there, but yeah, that was a I thought that was an interesting story that came across the old Newswire on there for that, like you say, how how embarrassing, just you're thinking, man, now that I got a ticket, now, like you say, now I'm possibly liable for the damage
Right.
of the of the deals. So just remember, if you get that red light, pull over, obey the officers, try to keep as calm as you can, and make sure you don't do that, because this thing, you never know, in another situation like that, what if what if you'd been standing behind the car or something, and not paying attention, and all of a sudden, somebody's getting run over on the deal. So be careful out there. But
Yeah.
this situation didn't seem to be that serious. Not like the plane crash, which was really tragic, that happened today again, that we reported on.
Yeah. Brandon writes in, loving the Miami Dolphin colors today. Roy looking fresh. Who's Miami Dolphins?
I was actually gonna
I
say
had to.
I was gonna say something else instead of dolphin. I was gonna call him Aquaman.
Oh,
But-
there we go. That's a good one.
Aquaman wears orange and green.
Yeah. I think he's more known.
Glad you picked up on that because I didn't plan on that anyway.
Yeah,
Weren't the Dolphins like 0-16 this year or something?
Anyways, they're never going to bring up the Dolphins again on here.
Of that, I think so. On that, I don't know. I don't follow the football end of it that much. As far as
The Chiefs that are probably
yeah,
gonna
the
win Super
Chiefs are.
Bowl.
I think it's going to be a really good game because you
Mhm.
probably got the highest potent offense. Kansas City Chiefs was probably the best defense out there in the 49ers. So, it should be a pretty darn good. I'm hoping it'll be a pretty darn good game, going out there.
I think it will be. Yeah, and it's going to be even better because we're going to be watching it from Mount Mike's
There you
at
go.
our party beginning at 2:30.
There you go.
Located off Iris and Marina Beach.
There you go.
No, Nason.
Well, where is
what
it?
is it? LaSalle and Iris. There, I got it.
Are you really?
Yes.
Uh,
James writes in, I thought it was Riverside Polycolors. Hey, it could be that too.
There you go. So yeah, I guess that was.
Wow.
I guess I'm really
This is the
stylish.
topic of today is
Yeah.
Roy's T-shirt.
Yeah.
Seriously?
My
What
style.
the
Yeah.
hell?
Who would have thought that I would get the attention on the styling?
That's cool.
That Jesse's looking up the colors of it. Well, no, they're green and orange.
I
School
think they
colors.
just wanted to do a poly,
Yeah, I think they're trying.
a poly plug.
Yeah, of what's going on there, but it's fun.
Brandon writes in they were 5 and 11 to correct you, not 0.
5 and 11. Well, that still isn't good.
Oh, my brothers are watching. I'm going to be in so much trouble. My family's like a huge Dolphin fan.
Oh, they
Like,
are.
Yeah. Like, I never was, but they are. So
They're
that's
on
probably
the
why I'm the.
on Team Dolphin on that, so they're gonna be on your case on that.
That's all right. They don't.
Well,
watch
I
the show
guess I'll
anyways. They
be
miss out.
yeah, I guess I'll be like Kingfisher there because I'm wearing the Dolphins colors.
Calm down, Kelly. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Man, there was a big fiasco. Other than the impeachment stuff, which is going to be a non-event, just like it turned out at the Riverside City Council yesterday. I was down there till 4:00. I guess the meeting went to almost 7:30 last night on the deal, and that was the last agenda item. Gabby Placentia, the newly elected city council member down there in Ward 5, because Chris MacArthur, I think, who held the office for 3 terms, decided to run. So it was Sean Mill versus Gabby Placentia. Sean Mills is a planning commissioner, Riverside. Gabby's been on boards and stuff. So Gabby won. Congratulations, won the election in November. You're on the seat. Sean still remained a planning commissioner, which Chris MacArthur had appointed him to that position. Well, Gabby Placentia all of a sudden, just right off the blue last Friday, right at the end, right in about the last minute, put it on the agenda to axe Sean Mill from the Planning Commission. Well, like right away, that almost smacks of political payback. You ran against me, I won. I'm going to take you out of the Planning Commission. There's more to the it was interesting that came out in the story of and how this story's unfolding, because play video have the first video of or I think it's number 2, but the one that starts at 4:34 of Gabby coming up. This was her opening remarks when the agenda item came up on that, because she's the one that put it up on the agenda. So let her go. It's about 40. I want to play about 40 seconds of this one.
As a former commissioner, I know how it feels to give of your time and sometimes feel like it is not appreciated. Please know that I do appreciate your efforts. As a newly elected official, my first request to our city clerk was to get a list of our commissioners and their terms. The purpose of this was to figure out who from Ward 5 I could appoint to ensure that our boards and commissions were truly what Riverside represents, a diverse and inclusive group. Over the years, I have seen the lack of representation on our boards and commissions and chose to make equity and access a top priority. My goal is to advocate for our city's core values and serve with integrity. Unfortunately, my predecessor did not serve with the same values in mind. Sean was forced to resign from the Planning Commission in Santa Ana in
stop
July
right
of
there.
2016.
Chris MacArthur had served 3 terms on that, yada, yada, very honorably. I've had my disagreements with Chris MacArthur on policy issues, but he's an honorable guy of that. Now, have the Rev, whichever one's the Rev video of that, move up to that because, again, I've talked about it, the attack of the straight white male and the whole thing of that, of what's going on. That's basically now what is coming out, what this is about, I believe. This is, I will play about 40 seconds of the Rev clip that. This is a pastor coming up to the deal, just speaking in public comments on the motion to repeat.
Council, I'm Reverend Paul Munford. I'm the pastor of New Joy Baptist Church here in Riverside for 30 years. I am also the president of Riverside Clergy Association. We just celebrated Sunday Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Birthday Celebration, and we gave 4 Champion of Justice Awards to institutions for training and helping homeless and ex-offender to be able to acquire skill sets to be part of.
Along with the him being a reverend long time in the community church, guess what else the Rev is?
What?
That's Sean Mills' father-in-law.
Oh, okay.
So all this talk about ethnic diversity and all this stuff, again, like I'm saying, is a bunch of crap and BS. It's the race baiters, in my opinion, like Gabby Placentia, that are coming out with all this stuff. The Amber Rochelles that have been on this show and her little group that's over there, that's been on Moreno Valley Politics and all that stuff, they constantly bring this stuff up. They're the ones that are perpetuating that, and as Mason Weaver tells you, they're the ones keeping you on the plantation. You got to serve us, and they're playing political payback. It's not about racial, and to slander, in my view, or run allegedly or question Chris MacArthur's ethics, way he's conducted himself. He's always conducted himself as a professional, represented himself and his city and his family well. He has not done anything that anywhere close that I've observed that Gabby claims or is implicating or whatever was going through her head.
I personally think it's a personal thing. I mean, who comes into office like that and then wants to start, at least see what they do, what they bring? I mean, if I were to ever go into office with anything, which I just believe me, I never would, I would at least want to see how people work. Anywhere you go, you should always see what kind of team and structure there is in a building before you go and try to change stuff. That's just smart management.
Right. I mean, Sean ran against her, done this, okay. Like I said, the political process, we do that. After the elections are done, we govern that. Now I want to see how someone with high integrity, professionalism, ethics, and knows his role of what it is to be elected and be a representative and have that awesome responsibility. Play the whichever one it is, the one we haven't played, the one with Chuck Condor on it. Have that video ready, because that is play Chuck Condor's video as his remarks after the public comments and hearing at Riverside.
Councilmember Condor, would you still like to speak? Councilmember Condor?
Yeah, I could not go with that. This has to be solved tonight. This is a question about procedure and policy. But first of all, I'm appalled that the councilwoman brought up her predecessor and his ethics. He is the only person to serve on this council in the 100-plus years of this city that was 3 terms and never had an opponent after his first election. He did it right. He swept into every election, and to call into question his ethics is appalling. The procedures and policies here are set. First of all, the Sunshine Rule emergency was violated. This is not an emergency. If we had a video of Mr. Mill taking money from a contractor a week before he was going to make a vote, that'd be an emergency. We'd have to get him off if that was a true statement. This was not an emergency. This violated our Sunshine Rule. Secondly, we have a process for violations. If the councilwoman thinks he did do something unethical, then she has to file an ethics charge with the Ethics Committee under penalty of perjury, let it be heard, let it come back to the council. That's the policy. We talked earlier about the law and rules. The law is the law, the rules are the rules. You know, when I won my election against my predecessor, he and I had issues. There were at least 4 board and commission members that he appointed that put out YouTubes against me, that put out false statements on Facebook. I didn't get rid of them. I didn't care. As a matter of fact, and I think Mr. Perry will remember this night at one of the Ward 5 forums down in Arlington, Mr. Davis was there. And Mr. Perry, and I think it was Mr. Floyd and a few others said, hey, we got to get a picture of Chuck shaking hands with Paul Davis. And they turned around. I was shaking hands with Paul Davis. I asked him how he was doing, and he asked me how I was doing. He congratulated me, and it's what professionals do. This is absolutely ridiculous. This has come out in public. The process is violated. So if the councilwoman wants to do something, then she needs to file an ethics charge with the Ethics Committee and let the process. I make a motion that we deny this tonight.
There you go. And it did. There was, I don't know what it was, about an hour's worth of public speakers, so what is 15, 20, 30, whatever it was. Not every one of them spoke for Sean Meal. None of the council members, the other 6 members of the council, backed up Gabby in this. She eventually dropped it after that impassioned plea at the beginning of why she did it and you have to do this and blah, 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 blah. You know, it's crazy. Again, it's the race baiters that are out there, and I mean, you tell me, Gabby, and you got a right to come in here. Come in here just like Chuck Conder did. Chuck Conder's been in here in these studios on that, and we have talked about the issues, and we've talked about them professionally like that, and had discussions about what and why is wrong. And what and why is wrong is exactly what you did last night, Gabby. Because either way, and it probably was a combination of, yeah, I hate Sean Mill just because of the way he looks. I'm going to give you a political payback because now I'm in power and I can do that. Well, you know what? You just had a big epic fail. You did not get one colleague of yours to go with you.
But see, don't you think that they talk before they have these meetings?
No, there's something called the Brown Act. You cannot talk to a majority of the council members on any issue. So they have 7 members. She could talk to 2 others, but she cannot talk to. Cannot talk to a total of 3 more. 4 members cannot talk together because that could be considered
like controversy.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That you're doing that, which. Can
we get a photo of the man you're talking about?
Sean Mill, yes, we're going to have him on here in a few minutes.
And
pull up the IEN story. I've got an IEN story. I wrote a story about it today.
I'm listening. I just wanted our people
on that. Yeah, pull up the IEN story
on
that because I've got the picture of Sean and Gabby of that. There's Sean and Gabby on the from IEN on that. From that, and you can even. Read the story I put up. It's basically the same thing that we're talking about now, and that's what I mean. I was really impressed with the speakers that came up there, all supporting Sean. I was really impressed with Chuck Conder's very, very common sense, of way, and put it very succinctly of that. Defended Chris MacArthur's honor, which was being questioned. defended, said, this is way, when I ran against Paul Davis, he ran against Paul Davis 2 years ago. Paul Davis was a sitting councilman at the time, which is even tougher to do. Gabby and Sean were running in opposite. He beat Paul Davis. As Chuck Condor said, some of his people were out there putting all kinds of crap over all the social media and stuff about him. Did he care? No. Did he do retaliation because they were on boards or two? Chuck Condor could have come in and did the same thing that Gabby did, but because Chuck Condor is an honorable person, and he's got ethics. And go get it. Well, you've seen Chuck Condor on there. Same thing. Chuck Condor has a face like this, the face that some of you, the race baiters out there, say is the personification of evil, and the blame for everything that's going wrong. And the only person that the blame is on you for perpetuating a frickin' lie.
Okay, so I feel like you're directing that towards somebody.
Yes, Gabby Placentia and all the race baiters out there that keep pushing this stuff. Just like what they're doing in the District of Criminals, trying to get done, pulling a phony impeachment just because they don't like him. For the same, almost exactly the same reasons of why they're trying to get Sean Mill out.
I'm scared.
I would hope so, because this stuff has been going on far too long.
I'm out of view, but that's okay. I love it when you're passionate.
And it has give old Sean a call. See, have you hooked up? Because I think we were going to call him about 5:40. We're gonna have Sean Mill on. Hopefully, the producer will get Sean up on the and we'll get his take on it. Because what went on there, nobody should have to go through this for any reason.
Very true.
At any time. But the bigger picture is we need to stomp out that attitude, and we need to focus on who the real race baiters and racists are. And those that back them and all that other stuff have got to go. They're in our community. They're across this nation. And it's
I'm not laughing at what he's saying. It's behind the scenes stuff.
No, it's
for those watching.
It's incredulous of what's going on this stuff.
It really is.
Of doing that, because yeah. Well, on top of the Facebook not working, now the phone is not working on the deal of why we're
oh my gosh,
we're doing that.
The flags are falling.
See if it's Jesse, grab the phone over here and just plug it into
I don't think
plug
it's
it into the
start
phone
working.
jack just to see if you got a deadline or it's the phone of that.
You should show that phone off.
Yeah, that's my test phone over there. You can put that in. But no, we'll see if we can get. Hopefully, we can get our phone. No, the phone jack's like right over here. But you will see that. See if you get a dial tone out of that one to see if it's not a problem with your phone or the line's dead. But we've had all. We'll get into the frontier and the phone line thing of that on top.
And it's great because you pay so much money for that, and it doesn't work.
Is the other phone working? Or you get okay? So you're getting something mad on your end of it.
I think you broke it. Did you see how many times it?
He was like that rat hitting the heroin button, going.
You know, I think I accidentally stole a thumbtack. So I owe you a thumbtack.
Jesse's having a heck of a day around here on the deal.
Oh,
I think he finally got.
How did that happen?
Working on that. See how the miracle of this, Roy might know a few things about how some of this stuff works.
So you plug the other phone in, and then that gets that phone working.
Yes, there we go.
love it.
I think we're going to finally hook up with Sean on that.
Don't jinx it.
I think we got a problem now with the actual phone jack thing, and that's why I had to unplug it and plug it and test it. Because if you usually do that, it starts working. Sometimes it starts working again. But
I love it here because you just never know.
Yeah, we've had a fun day today.
We have.
On all
but you know what? I feel like our hiccups,
on.
We kind of just roll it smoothly.
I think we finally, after that, all the problems we've had today, and we finally got the phones hooked up. I think we finally have the man of the hour that we've been having the discussion about. Planning Commissioner from Riverside, all-around good guy, Sean Mill, welcome to the show with Roy and Stephanie.
Hey, thank you guys.
He's
Good.
there.
I'm glad to be here.
You got it. I
that?
played 3 clips. I played your father-in-law in public comments. I played Gabby's initial stuff, and I played Chuck Conder's ending comments, which I think summed everything up very well. But just a few key points, and I don't know if you've been listening, but I said this race baiting that Gabby Placentia is doing, and a lot of others, all the way up to what they're doing to Donald Trump with this phony impeachment just because they don't like him. This race baiting that people have got to stop, and that's why I wanted to show your father-in-law, who made a very impassionate speech up there, that how the heck does this all work? How does the on top of that, I'm saying it's 2 things.
Thank you.
Gabby probably does have this, under this ethnic diversity, but 2, I think it was a political payback because you ran against her, and she's now in power, and she's going to, okay, well, I'm going to take you out.
Yeah, no. Clearly, I mean, her motives were political payback, and the thing is that as a sitting council member, I don't have a problem with her putting an item on the agenda saying, "Hey, I want Sean removed because I want political payback." It's honest. It's telling the community this is why I'm doing it. But my problem is that she wanted to impugn my character
Correct.
and slander my name. But I was shocked when she said, well, this isn't just about Sean. This is about, I'm calling other commissioners, and if they don't fit the racial profile that I feel should be sitting in the seats, I'm asking them to resign too. So the bigger question is, well, Gabby, can you give us a list of the names of the folks that you asked to resign? And if it's only white people, I mean, that's pretty damning. Is it that we're supposed to be a city that's inclusive and inclusive of everybody? And I would think that there's some kind of code within the city that says, there's no discrimination against gender or race, and it doesn't specify which gender or race. And she's clearly saying that, hey, I want people that are of color on the commissions. I don't want old white guys like Sean Mill on there. And that's what she said from the dais. And I was actually shocked to hear her say that in public. I know that's the way she thinks, but for a sitting council member, it's one thing if she said it as a candidate or a private citizen. But for a sitting council member who represents every member of the community, regardless of race, color, political persuasion, but for a sitting council member to say something like that from the dais was absolutely shocking, and everybody should be appalled by it.
I mean, yes, Chuck Conder said it exactly, and I mean, I could, again, impugning the character, not only impugning your character, but the character of Chris MacArthur. And like I've said, I've had disagreements with Chris MacArthur on policy issues, but his character is like, I mean, I don't know of a better guy, maybe Chuck Conder, the same deal. I mean, what the hell is she talking about?
Well, I mean, her beef with Chris MacArthur is that Chris endorsed me in the election, and that Chris was the guy who appointed me to the Planning Commission. So she felt like she wanted to impugn Chris's character. And I can tell you this, is that there's not a more respected individual in the city of Riverside than Chris MacArthur. He is respected by Republicans and Democrats, Hispanics, white, you name it. Chris runs the gamut. He's respected, and I've never heard anybody. In fact,
this is the first time I've ever heard Chris MacArthur's name ever being mentioned in any sort of context as this.
And it's pretty shameful that again, for the sitting council member to sit up there on the dais and use her position to impugn Chris's name from the dais. Again, if she wants to do it at a campaign rally, I don't have a problem. But she's one of the very same people that would be out on the street corners marching in the streets or marching in the streets like she did on Saturday with the rest of the women and complaining that Donald Trump is abusing power. These people, talk about abuse of power. Abuse of power is going around the city's sunshine ordinance to place an emergency item on the agenda to slander the name of me and then use that time to impugn the character of people like Chris MacArthur, and then use your time to basically say, like the old sign used to be when the Irish immigrants, Irish need not apply. I guess when it comes to being a commissioner in Ward 5, white males need not apply.
Yeah, what is it? I guess the standard is not such have the best and brightest represent us. It's let's run this false world that we're going to come up with on that. And as Chuck Condor said, when I was elected, my opponent and his appointees were out there running a bunch of stuff on me. Did I come in and just automatically start pitching those guys out? No, that's not how. Like as Chuck Condor said, that's not being a professional. And Gabby, go ahead.
Well, the irony is that they keep using the term diversity.
Yes.
And it's not about diversity. It's about they want groupthink, and diversity shouldn't be based on one's skin color or gender or sexual preference or religion. Diversity is about diversity of thought, diversity of ideas and opinions, diversity of experiences. That's diversity. Real diversity is having people that may not always agree. I mean, you go back to when Abraham Lincoln was elected president, and Doris Kearns Goodwin wrote the book Team of Rivals. Who did Lincoln appoint to be his cabinet? Those who were against him.
Yes.
Because he knew that, having diverse opinions, he may have been a brilliant man, but he knew that he was smarter by having diverse opinions, talking about the issues of the day. And there was not a more pressing time in our nation's history than that time, and more divided country ever. And Lincoln said, you know what? The best thing it would be to bring my enemies to the table. That's diversity. Diversity isn't having everybody that thinks alike, but they may be different colors. That's not diversity. But again, this is just liberal speak for, we want groupthink.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
It is. And we've had Mason Weaver on many times. He wrote the book, about everybody keeping everybody on the plantation. And that's how they do this. They use this to control you and make you dependent on them, so you never have the opportunity like you have right now in America to be or do work. You have the tools now to do it. You don't have to ask for somebody, because when you ask for a handout or something or somebody else, you're under their control. And that's what they are preaching when they say diversity and all this stuff, and everyone that's in that's what they're actually doing. And we need to get the truth out on this all across the board. And I was proud of the community of the city of Riverside that came out to support you overwhelmingly and speak in your behalf. I was proud of the other 6 council members that said, no, we're not going with this. I mean, there's nothing but a bigger epic fail than what Gabby Placentia tried to pull off last night at the Riverside City Council.
Well, if you saw, I mean, her close friend and ally, Andy Melendrez, tried to give her a lifeboat to get off the island that she had stranded herself on. Andy was trying to help her, and she wouldn't take the help. He was trying to say, you know what, Gabby, this is going nowhere. Let's move on. And it wasn't until she realized that nobody was going to get behind her that she decided. And then Chuck, my personal opinion is I wanted the council I wanted the motion to move forward, and it was going to die. There wasn't going to be a second to the motion. But Chuck was like, what she did was kind of leave it out there, and I'm going to pull it now. I'm going to pull it. Well, you've wasted. That this is what I'm proud of, and I'm humbled. Is that I had all those people lined up to speak in my behalf. I didn't know probably most of them. I've never met most of those people in my life, but they waited 6 hours. They waited 6 hours to stand up for me, and there's nothing. I mean, they tried to drag that council meeting out as long as they could. And you were there and left because it was
I had to get back here. Yeah, I was very.
And he was so mad during the show yesterday. I thought I was going to get hit.
But think about it. I mean, those people waited 6 hours. They could have easily just said, I'm going to go home. But those people that were there, I mean, it would be. I can't wait to see how many people emailed, because I know that there were so many emails sent to all of the council members about this issue. That I spoke to, and I want everyone to know that a lot of people are angry with Ronaldo Fierro because he signed the memo to help Gabby skirt the sunshine orange to get it placed on the agenda. Hey, Ronaldo, she came to him at 5:00 on Friday, and came running to him. Hey, Ronaldo, will you help me get this on the agenda? And not as excuses that he didn't really realize what he was signing, but Ronaldo was just assisting his colleague. He didn't. He came to me. I spoke with him, and he apologized. He said, I didn't know this was an attack on you. I'm not supportive of this, and I hope we're good. And so I want people to know that, even though I supported Ronaldo's opponent in the election, I hold no animus towards him. I really think that this was all Gabby. The whole thing it lands on Gabby Placentia. None of the other council members played a part in this. Some people said, maybe Rusty had some. I don't believe anybody up there other than Gabby Placentia had anything to do with this. I have a good relationship with every one of those council members. Some of them I would go as far as to call them my friends. I'm cordial with everybody. The only person who I've ever had a problem with is Gabby. I've tried to be gracious with her since I called her right after the final votes were counted to congratulate her on her victory, and to offer my help and bring her up to speed on issues before the Planning Commission. I tried to. We both serve on the Arlington Business Partnership Board of Directors, and since she found out that I was a member of that board, she's refused to take part in anything. And I actually have text messages where she says that until he's removed from the board, I'm not going to do expletive for you.
Wow.
That's the perfect phone call. That's the quid pro quo. Do me a favor, though. Remove him from the commission, or I won't help you. Remove him from the board, or I won't help you. And I have text messages that verify. I tried to shake her hand when she wouldn't shake my hand. I mean, she's just showing folks that that maybe she's not ready for this position. I have no desire to relitigate the election. It's over. I'm looking to do everything I can to move our city forward. That's what it's about. I mean, we spent 90 minutes yesterday debating something that was ridiculous, instead of talking about how we can solve the homeless crisis, how we can get to work on the pension nightmare that our city, the $700 million in unfunded pension liabilities, the looming budget crisis that we have coming. Those are what we should be talking about. We shouldn't be talking about Sean Mill.
Yes.
And Gabby Placentia. It's silly.
Yes, you didn't deserve anything that went on. I've known you for a couple of years, and just saying, you've always represented yourself, your family, the city of Riverside in the best, most professional manner. There's no reason to that. And as Chuck Conder said, if there was some sort of emergency reason, we have procedures to deal with this. This was totally done. And I think, and even as more evidence probably comes out, this was totally done for nefarious purposes, and this must be stomped out in our city. Thanks a lot. Go ahead.
But who doesn't deserve it? It's not. I don't even want this to be about Sean Mill. Is it, hey,
yes.
It is what it is. I signed up for the political battles. Who doesn't deserve it? The people of Riverside don't deserve it. And Gabby Placentia's colleagues on the city council don't deserve this. They don't deserve to be dragged into a petty fight that Gabby wants to continue on with. They don't deserve it. I don't necessarily agree politically with probably most of them, but I think that they care about Riverside. I think they love our community, and they want to do, even though we may not agree on how to get there, I think that they want to do what's best for Riverside. Gabby Placentia, I pray, and I pray for her. Someone said that they're praying for me, and I said, don't pray for me, pray for Gabby. And I pray that she grows into the position and realizes this isn't about you, Gabby. This is about Riverside. And right now, I think that she's making it all about Gabby, and that's sad to me. Again, people. I don't want people to be vengeful towards her or angry with her. I want them to pray for her and pray for her to have the wisdom to move on and give her peace so that she can move on and get to work on the serious problems facing our community. That's what I want. I don't want to continue, fighting with her. But that being said, I'm never going to run from a fight. If a bully tries to run over me, I'm going to stand up for myself, and I'm not going to allow someone to impugn my character or the character of good people like Chris MacArthur.
You got it. We're running out of time, but thanks for being on, Sean. Keep up the good fight, and as I know you will, and best of luck in the future.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Have a good night.
All right, thanks. Bye.
He's a sweetheart. Why would she be mad at him? Well, not mad, but
no.
Why would she be? I mean, she's got to be some kind of something for him.
Yes, it's the culture.
To act like that.
It's that culture, that cult, that keeps pushing this kind of stuff each and every day. All of that, and again, we're going to expose it as much as we can, and we're going to fight and resist against it each and every day because it's got to stop. Because we will tear ourselves apart if we don't.
Exactly.
Any last words?
No, just everyone be nice to each other. Go help a stranger.
Yes.
Or give a compliment. That goes a long way too. Right, your shirt looks. Never mind. Anyways.
You're rescinding the compliment, huh?
Give someone else a compliment. I won't show you how to do it.
Well, yeah, I'll give you a compliment on your safari attire today.
It's camo.
Camouflage safari.
Wow. Anyways.
That's it.
Is that all we got?
That's all we got.
All right.
We'll be back tomorrow.
For Thirsty Thursday.
For Thirsty Thursday on that. So until in 23 hours, be back because right now we are
gone.